Hi, I'm Michael and welcome to Tamenuri studio. Today I will show you fuki-urushi, so one of the techniques for beginners and for masters, because you can learn fuki-urushi very fast, but it will take years to master it and to feel the wood and to know how urushi and wood will interact, because fuki-urushi is all about interaction between wood and urushi. I will include during the video or at the end of it some footage from Andrew from Pen Friends UK, so please watch it because his channel is great, and visit his channel and Instagram account too. He started with urushi recently, and it's an interesting story too. So enjoy! So fuki-urushi. What we need? We need wood or some wooden objects to lacquer, and in my case I made a few pen pillows, pen stands, pen pillows made of poplar pearl, and this wood is very light and it has a lot of imperfections as pearls do. So I do not expect very even surface. It's very difficult to sand it smooth. So I think I will resand it after first layer because I see a lot of marks from sanding paper, and there are 3 of them. I have chopsticks and they are already cut, as you can see, and those here are, I don't remember the wood, but they are sanded smooth. And the third piece is iron wood, and those chopsticks are to be cut, so they end with a cone and you cut it to length to suit your needs or the user needs. And first you lacquer the chopstick and using this part as a holder, so you can put it like here, like that, and then cut it off and lacquer just the cut with something else. And I plan to put some either black urushi or raden or maybe something else. These chopsticks are a prototype. They are octagon shape, and they will be prototype for a gift I'm making for someone, and the ends of those chopsticks will be ishime. But today I will show just fuki-urushi technique on them, as well as on all the other stuff. What do we need for fuki-urushi? As I said, we need wood, we need urushi, and we can use Gokuyanama urushi. This one is Chinese and it's perfect for initial layers. We can use Kiyomi urushi, and this one is Japanese, and just Yoki urushi, so raw basic urushi. Or even we can use sugurome urushi, so processed urushi, and in this case it's suki sugurome. It's mill rolled, roll milled, and it cures very fast and creates very strong and resistant surface. So today I think I will use just this Gokuyanama urushi, and because I do not care for changing the color too much, especially on this poplar pearl, because I want it to change the color a lot. What else do we need? We need turpentine, so I have turpentine here, and we need silk wool paper. This is Japanese paper just for this job, but you can also use wipes, but provided they are strong enough. Those here are ribbed, so they are like designed for fuki-urushi. And I will use gloves because I'm not allergic to urushi, but I do not want to have extremely dirty hands and wash them too long because I'm doing it all the time. And for this part it will be everything, I think. Maybe I will use brush for this part. And but later we need a lot of sandpapers and different grids up to I think 2000 or 3000 grit, and polishing powders like Migakiko here, and polishing pastes like this Sunjet P616. And how I prepared the wood. As I said, I was not very thorough with sanding, so I just used some sandpaper up to 320. But as I said, burl is very uneven and I want to fill it with sabi anyway, probably, or sabi mixed with a pigment or something else. But first I want to see the areas with imperfections, so I will start with just diluted urushi and then we will see it. But the chopsticks were prepared much better, especially those. And the good idea for sanding such complicated shapes is to have a sandpaper on a sponge. This one is 180, and you can wrap it around the piece and sand it much more conveniently. But as I said, those are prepared already, so I will not resand them. Very important thing is to clean the pieces you are going to lacquer from the dust. I already cleaned them once, so I'm just wiping them off the dust that could stay on them. It's a good idea to wipe them with a wet cloth and then dry to make sure there is nothing on them. During this video I will see some b-roll from Andrew from Penfriends UK, and you can visit his channel or his Instagram account and see his beginnings with urushi and with fuki-urushi, and he's doing great stuff. Okay, so as I said, we want to dilute the urushi, and I usually use my glass plate here as a medium, as a base for mixing urushi, but this time I think I will use this bowl and some Kuyonama urushi. As you can see, it's very white. It's raw urushi and pretty high quality. It's Chinese, but it's pretty high quality. I tested it before. I push out the air from the tube before I close it. To prevent urushi from curing inside the tube. Then we add turpentine. For the first layer it usually is 50%, so I just eyeball it, and it should be more or less 50%. Mix it. Turpentine is solvent and it can evaporate quite quickly, not so quickly as some other solvents, so it's slow evaporating solvent, but still it evaporates, and you should control the viscosity of your mixture, and in case it's getting too thick and you see that the turpentine has evaporated, you can add a drop of it and remix it. Okay, now let's put the gloves on. I use nitrile gloves, an unpowdered one. So never buy powdered gloves for working with urushi, because the powder will get everywhere and will stick to the urushi and will ruin your project completely. So never ever powdered gloves. These are unpowdered, and we can start. I think I will start with those holders here, and I will use the brush because I want the layer of urushi to be quite thick, and I want it to, I think I will add a little turpentine. I want the urushi to penetrate this pearl easily. Kuyanama urushi is quite thin, and it penetrates the urushi pretty well, the wood pretty well, but still adding turpentine helps. You add a lot of turpentine only to the first layer. Later it's unnecessary because it does not soak into the wood so fast. As you see, I am quite liberal with the urushi on the barrel, and I will make sure urushi mixture with turpentine gets into all those pits and cracks in the barrel and soaks in also there. The wood is already changing color. I hope it will be really interesting once finished. And now you can see here that the marks from sanding paper came out instantly. So this shows how important is the preparation of the surface. I'm going to resand it because this first layer is just for strengthening the surface of this wood, because it's very soft and light and it sucks like a sponge, and I will resand it. But if you are not going to resand the object you're lacquering, make sure it's really well prepared. And here the same story. The brush mark, the sandpaper marks are more visible. The underside, I always try to lacquer the whole object, because wood is alive. Wood works and it sucks the humidity from the air and expands and contracts. So you want to seal the whole object, not to let those changes in wood wetness, humidity. Okay, so first layer. I will leave this piece for a while and then we'll reapply the urushi. And the second holder. Okay, all three parts are lacquered with the first layer, and now I will reapply the urushi, looking for areas where the wood sucked in everything and putting a little bit more there. With such wood as this one, it will take slightly longer for the urushi to cure because it goes deep inside the wood pores. As you could see, I prepared not enough mixture. I underestimated this wood in terms of amount of urushi it will consume. So urushi will cure slightly longer. Okay. All parts are lacquered, they sucked most of the urushi in, and now it's time to wipe this urushi off, the surplus of urushi. So, I could leave them for a little longer, even for 10 minutes, but as I said, it sucks the urushi quite fast, and for me it's just a contour layer. So the layer which will reveal all the imperfections and let me resand the surface, and actually after the sanding I will reapply the first layer. Urushi showed the wood grain incredibly well. Burl has very complicated wood grain, a lot of imperfections, and urushi showed everything beautifully. Okay, and now the chopsticks. And for the chopsticks, for the bright ones, I will use same urushi, but the Gokuyanama. But for the ironwood, I will start with a Sugurome mixed with kiyomi. It will make the surface stronger. So a little bit of Sugurome roll milled, a little bit of kiyomi, some turpentine to 50%, mixing. For ironwood, I will use the brush too, because it's hard and heavy wood, but still quite porous. But for the other one, I will use the tampen. I will show you how to make one, how to use it. I don't care too much about mixing those two types of urushi, which usually could be a problem, but not in this case. They are just base layers, and the purpose of them is to impregnate the surface of the wood. You can use just a simple seshime or ki-urushi for fuki-urushi. It makes no sense or little sense starting experiments with fuki with some costly, high quality Japanese raw urushi, because the only difference you will get is the slight difference in strength of urushi, and you will not even notice it, and slight difference in color. Sashimi will be probably darker. Okay, the other one. I lacquer the whole chopsticks, even with this bit that will be cut off. I do not want to decide where the cut will be right now, so I prefer to lacquer them all, especially the first layer, which is sucking, which is penetrating the wood anyway, and it will not influence the surface too much. But you can do it in parts. If there is some delicate wood and you want to apply urushi very precisely, you can apply it in one part and then on another. Just make sure not to overlap them. I reapply on the first chopstick again, and this one here. And I will leave them and wait for the urushi to suck in, and now prepare the mixture of kuyanama for the second pair of chopsticks. Much less this time. They will not suck urushi so first, they are not so thirsty. They will not suck it so much. Close the tube. Turpentine. And this time I will show you how to make a tampon for urushi application. So I'll take some silk wool and a piece of this paper. Put it in the middle. Make sure all the fibers are inside, that's why I have gloves. And voila! This is not suitable for rough surface because it will tear the paper, so it must be smooth. You can see the grain showing up instantly. If you want to know more about fuki-urushi, I published an article on my website on this technique where I enumerate all the tools and materials used for different techniques, a lot of variations of those techniques possible because you can use color urushi too for fuki, and what are the next steps. I'll try to show the next steps in my future videos, and I will link from this one to the new the following steps, but to make sure you will not miss it, subscribe and like this video. YouTube algorithms will make sure that you will see the new one. Okay, and I'm building more content for my website, writing articles and making new videos. So if you want to support me with this work, there is a donation link, a PayPal donation link on my website, so feel free to use it. Okay, that's it, and now wiping off. If I were allergic, I would panic right now. Not to mention that my hand is gloveless, naked. And finished. So I will try to mix in some footage from Andrew if I did not do it during this video. I will roll it right now. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.
You can see it really catches the light. It's a shame you have to wipe it off, but this is the sort of effect you're going to end up with when you come to polishing it, all being well. By going in both directions, you make sure that you get everything where you want it to go. Now I had wiped down these pen barrels beforehand, so there should not be any dust on these whatsoever. And what I'm doing meanwhile is I'm actually recording my sort of journey into exploring urushi on a spreadsheet. I'm noting down humidities, temperatures, any sort of observations I have